So we have to graph this by finding the intercepts, right? And so we just saw that this is true. Right? Okay. But the problem is when I put a 0 for y to find the x-intercept, right? When I multiply both sides by negative 2/3, it's just 0.
Isn't that reversed?
What?
The x and the y? Supposed to be y?
No.
0 first?
Oh. Well, no. So for the x-intercept, y is equal to 0.
Oh.
It's backwards. It's like, yeah. And I get it mixed up all the time. But no, that's right. So for the x-intercept, if I put a 0 for y, like it's gone, right? Then negative 3/2 times what equals 0? That has to be 0, right? Because if I am multiplying two numbers and the answer is 0, then one of those numbers has to be 0. And that one's not 0, so x equals 0. That's the origin, right? Yeah. Origin's where something starts. That's why they call it the origin. And then the same thing here, right? When I put a 0 for x to find the y-intercept, I'm just left with 3/4 y equals 0. So, again, 0, right? Like if you wanted to show your, like do the algebra, you could, but 4/3, right?
So everything multiplied by 0 will eventually be 0, right?
Right, it's always 0. So we're supposed to make a graph, and to make a graph of a line, you need at least 2 points, but we only have 1, because they're the same. Right here, right? So that means you need, and this is why knowing what a graph is super important. A graph is a picture of all the answers to this. Dang. So we got to come up with another point. We could do it a bunch of ways. We could do a t-chart. We could do, like, solve for y and do point slope formula. Yeah, we could do all kinds of stuff. Here's what I would do. We need one more point, right? Let's pick a number for x and plug it in.
Yeah.
Let's pick something easy.
1.
Well,
2.
Yeah, if you pick 2, it's going to reduce, right?
Yeah.
So here's what we're going to do. We're going to pick another point for x, but we're going to make it easy. So let's pick 2, because 2 will reduce when we plug that in, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to go negative 3/2 times 2. Ivan, you see what we're doing? We're just plugging that in, right? Okay. So this equals negative 3, yeah? Okay. So that's all negative 3 plus 3/4 y equals 0. We're going to solve for y, because we need to figure out what y is so we can have the other part of our coordinate. So I'm going to add 3, right? I'm going to write it over here so we can see. 3/4 y equals positive 3, because, you got to add 3 to both sides. Am I going too fast?
No.
Okay. Then you have to multiply by the reciprocal. So you multiply by 4/3, by 4/3, and you see these reduce, and you're left with y equals 4. So it's 2 comma 4. So 2, 4 would be right there. There's your second point. So you had to do some extra work. It's a tricky problem because finding the intercepts doesn't give you enough information. And if you wanted to do a t-chart, like that's really what the t-chart does anyway, just finds solutions for you. But just pick a number for x and plug it in. Okay.